Welcome to Reimagining Community, Eastside Voices for Change. It's your local community response organizer, Angelica. Today we're going to talk about two important topics, immigration and support for renters in crisis. I want to introduce you to our housing justice organizer, Guillermo Rivera.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about immigration, right? Right now, since November of last year, we're in very difficult times. And they're trying to scare us. And they're being successful. They're being very, very successful. The communities are scared. We are scared. I am scared. Everybody's scared. But they are trying to bury us, but they don't know that we are seeds. So what we need to do is to follow. There's great organizations at the national level, like at the ACLU. In the state level is the Washington Immigration Solidarity Network. In the east side of King County is ELAP. I recommend it to everybody to keep updated and seeing their websites because the information is changing every single day. So we need to keep our communities informed, right? You need to be informed. You need to inform your families, your friends about what to do in case that some kind of emergency present. I mean, the basic one, like everybody's talking about it, is like you need to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent, and don't let anybody get into your house without the permission. They will probably show you some stuff. Don't believe them. Don't open the door, right? And don't talk to them. That is the basic one. But we are highly recommended to go and keep informed with these three websites. Again, for the national level is the ACLU. For the state level is the Washington Immigration Solidarity Network. And local in the east of King County with ELAP.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Guillermo. That was very helpful information on how to support our community at this time and how people can support themselves.
Also today, we want to talk about bills that are passing in Olympia about rent stabilization. That is a very important local issue that is happening here in Washington State right now. The bills are the 1217-5222. And there are two bills that, one for the Senate and one for the House, that are talking about how to create rent stabilization in Washington. Rent increases in Washington they're higher than ever, right? We know that. A lot of times there are more than 7% increases, right? So this is affecting a lot of families and communities around Washington State. And today we want to share a personal story from Chelsea. Chelsea, can you introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Hi, my name is Chelsea Lee, and I'm the Equitable Development Coordinator with Eastside for All.
Great. And I hear that you have a story about rent increase. Can you share it with our friends?
Sure. I first moved to Seattle in 2017, and for the first 11 months, I was homeless. I was living in a very dangerous place with people who were physically and emotionally abusive to each other and to me. And I have since been experiencing constant housing instability due to rent increases outpacing what my annual income increases have been. And so I finally, for the very first time in my life, I found a home that is comfortable, it is safe, it is cozy, it makes me feel really happy to be there. But I know that my happiness is conditional. It is dependent on my ability to continue being able to afford it. And that breaks my heart because since I've lived in this same apartment, my rent the first year it went up 8%, the next year it went up 9%, and each year my income was increasing only by 3%. And having this space where I get to be a part of a community, I know my neighbors, I enjoy where I am, knowing that I could be displaced at any moment because I can't afford to keep up with the rent. I certainly can't afford to put a down payment on an ownership option. And knowing that the places within my range of affordability are so far from my community. They're so much farther from where I work. It's terrifying. It's a horrible prospect to constantly be unsure about where I'm going to be able to live or if I'm going to be able to stay in a place that means so much to me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Chelsea. And this is just one of the stories, right? There's a lot of families that are experimenting this, and that the kids also get displaced. The kids need to go to new schools. Probably your commute is longer after you have to move. There is a lot of things that affect community, right? And belonging when we're talking about these kind of things. One of the things that this bill will do is that the rent cannot be increased more than 7% every year. This will help people to plan, right? After the tenant move out, the landlord can increase the rent whatever they want it, right? But if you have one tenant, they cannot be increased more than 7% every year. That this kind of bill will help you to figure out and plan your life, Chelsea?
I think something that has been really challenging is never knowing how much my rent is going to increase year after year. And I have lived in income-restricted apartments. I have been on wait lists for low-income, affordable housing. I was on the wait list for one building for 4 years before I got approved. And at that time, my income had actually increased beyond my eligibility. And so that place was no longer even available to me. And so not knowing year after year, what is my rent going to be next year, it takes away that ability for me to plan and to save. And while also being burdened by student loans and day-to-day living, I'm not at the place where I ever have enough savings to start actually being able to even put down something for an ownership option. And it is a cycle for renters everywhere that we are trapped in continuing to pay 30% or more of our monthly income for housing and utility costs, that we're never able to create any kind of savings that would get us out of this rental cycle. And so without even being able to predict how much rent increases are going to be year after year, it just makes it so precarious. It makes it really unstable, unsure, and people get really fearful about what their future is going to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for all our friends that are hearing right now, if you ever have a problem with legal assistance or rental assistance, there is different communities, organizations that are doing a great job in that. If you ever need a legal assistant, you can go to Eastside Legal Assistance Program, or ELAP. It's elap.org. Go to them for legal assistance, or if you need to have fundings for rent assistance, there is also a lot of different organizations that are doing that. One is for tomorrow. They don't have the money all the time. You need to be aware of that. Sometimes they have the money, sometimes they don't, but there is different programs in the East Side that can help you with rental assistance.
Hello.
Hi, and I'm Debbie Lacey, Executive Director for Eastside for All, and you are?
My name's Angelica Gonzalez Graham, and I'm Community Response Organizer with Eastside for All, and I'm excited to be here today.
We wanted to share some information with the community about what can support them during times like this, when we do tend to see increases in discrimination, hate-motivated incidents, hate crimes, etc. And thanks to your work and everything that you've built, Angelica, wanted you to just share a little bit with how community members can get support if they're experiencing something like that.
Yeah, so if you're experiencing a hate crime or a bias-related incident or something that you feel like may be discrimination, you can get support from us at Eastside for All or one of our community partners. We do incident reporting for community members that is anonymous and confidential, and we can connect you to support that you need, or we can serve as community advocates for you addressing the issue. And all around, it is just like having a community-led response to these types of incidents. these incidents have always been around, but we are seeing an increase of them right now. So it's really important that you know that we have each other and that there is somewhere that you can go to get support. And you don't necessarily have to do anything with the information that you share if you don't want to. So you can come to us for support if you just want it to be added to our data collection. But if you would like to get connected to resources afterwards, we're able to do that. We're able to walk with you on your journey as well and just be kind of like a support for you. This resource serves as an alternative to police reporting, and so it's completely housed within community-based organizations. So we do not involve law enforcement with any of our incident reporting, and we only involve them if that's a step that you want to take on your journey. So this reporting is completely autonomous, and the survivor is completely in control of the steps that we take following the report.
We're really fortunate, right, to have a lot of partners that help us with this because we can't do it alone. We have different community, cultural groups, languages, etc. So we're really grateful to Africans on the East Side, Muslim Community Network Association, Immigrant Women's Community Center, Indian American Community Services, Chinese Information Service Center, and United Indians of All Tribes, and other organizations that help throughout King County. And we also have some great students that are part of Black student unions, and we've really appreciated their leadership and support as well. So, Angelica, how can people get in touch again if they need one of these services?
You can get in touch with going on our website at eastsideforall.org and going under our community safety tab, or you can contact me directly at 425-247-1118 or shoot me an email at Angelica@eastsideforall.org, Angelica@eastsideforall.org.
And now for some calls to action. I just wanted everybody to know you can always look us up and find what are the current calls to action that we have for local policy, systemic change, things that gather the community together to organize and mobilize. And you can go to eastsideforall.org and just click on our advocacy hub, and you'll see all the information there that you need.
Thank you for listening to us today. And please share this information with families, friends about what we talk about immigration, about renter protections, rent stabilization. Contact your legislators. And we will see you next time at Reimagining Community.